What's up, Mark? Hey, Mark Giosa, I think you should share what you shared on the mastermind call the other day about contacts with these people today. I think they might like to hear that. One minute and counting. Let's go ahead and share screen.
Good
All right,
morning.
with that sip of coffee, we are go time. It is the weekly Attraction Mastermind, one of my favorite times of the week. I'm also really enjoying this season that we're in right now. It's really cool when you prospect for, a period of time. For me, it's been a couple of years, and people that were like totally cold shoulder in this opportunity are now reaching out to me. It's just a sign of the times. It's what we're going through. Every challenge has opportunity. And this call today is going to speak specifically to how we initiate that conversation around the opportunity we have. So without further ado, purpose of this training is we are your family. We are your supportive community. I really couldn't imagine doing this myself or any of the key leaders in my organization like without this call. This is where we teach all the best agent attraction practices, where we tell you about things that we're actively doing when it comes to agent attraction, things that are working, things that are not working, things that we no longer do, like send the email with the video. We're also keeping you up to date on what the latest announcements are. So what we say is simple. It's like plug in weekly, and it will help you remain focused on and committed to your success. So we'll talk about our proven system today. We'll do some positive focus. We'll talk about some wins. We'll hit you up with the updates and announcements. We'll get into a training I have that I think is very timely for right now. I actually sketched out 2 videos this morning that I'm going to do on my YouTube channel that are all about right now. So I want to get hyper focused on like what's happening out there right now. I want to hear from you guys what you're experiencing and help you through any challenges that you have. Then we're going to have a great success interview today. And so let's get into wins. What are some wins that you guys have since we last spoke? Anything, agent attraction, prospecting related. I alluded to the fact earlier that, I got people reaching out to me now that I had reached out to that were like, okay, I'm not. So last week I was in an undisclosed location doing this training. That company, that independent real estate company, is coming into EXP. I can talk more about specifics of that later on, about like what I'm seeing EXP do right now, which is really cool. But like, what are you guys experiencing? Who's having traction out there? What's going on? Let's hear your wins.
Yeah, so I onboarded a icon level agent fully last week, and I've got potentially about 6 more in the pipeline that are coming on here over the next couple of weeks. People are super receptive, and they're open to talking about it.
Dang, dude. So Darren, I don't really know you personally. I know you've been showing up on these calls here the last little bit, and you've been sharing wins with us. How long have you been in EXP, and kind of where'd you come from?
So I started off at Keller Williams, like a lot of people. I've been with EXP about 3 years, but I really got intentional about my recruiting about a month and a half ago. And since then, it's just freaking taken off.
Amazing. Yeah, I do the quick start training. And one of the things I say is, hey, this quick start training is for anybody new, anybody who's been in EXP a while that's recommitting or committing to their agent attraction success, or anybody that's just not growing fast enough. And, you're a perfect case example of that. You're killing it, dude. Keep it up.
Cool.
Who else?
Hi, my name is Cammie, and I'm new to this EXP thing. I'm not new to direct selling and network marketing. So I got to figure out the selling and buying of real estate versus the agent attraction, but I don't know why more people aren't screaming from the rooftops. And I put together a post on social media the other day. When I first started my business, in the world of direct sales, it was all about residual income for me and leveraging my time. But I would recruit the heck out of agents because I could say, you don't have residual income, my friend. You have a great product, but you don't have residual income. The amount of top dogs in my organization from real estate, well, I flipped the script now. I'm like, y'all, I used to recruit real estate agents. Now I'm going to be one because EXP has cracked the code. And I literally have been throwing up on social media, and it got me 3 calls yesterday alone. And I'm going to throw it in the chat so y'all can borrow it. I think the best ideas aren't the ones you have all on your own. I think the best ideas come from sharing, but I just wrote, I didn't even know if it was all true. So I asked my sponsor, Ryan and Justin, if I was lying at all, because I'm still new to this whole thing. But, you know, I just said, if you're not building residual income as a real estate agent, we need to talk. Why is nobody talking about the fact that EXP has all the benefits of being a broker with zero liability? I didn't have to wait 2 years to get my broker's license. Stock options, health insurance, state-of-the-art technology, training from top agents in the world. And I have gotten so many hits on that. And so what I'm finding is most people I've talked to have known about EXP. They just never gave it a second look. So FYI, if that can be helpful, y'all can take that.
No, man, you know what is helpful, Cammie? Like not only what you said, but like the passion that you said it with. Like that was my takeaway. Like tag me on that post that you did on social media. I want to read it. But like your passion, the newness that you're bringing to it, like it is, I've had this realization, like you said, why aren't we shouting from the rooftops about this? And, you know, I think there's been like this old guard of influencers at EXP that have been doing it for a long time. And in doing it for a long time, we become desensitized to what we have our hands on. And it's like, man, we got tired right before the race. Like right now is the time to be like prospecting like we never had before, because the message is going to be received like it's never been before.
Can I just share one other thing?
Yeah, sure.
Just going back to the fact that I used to recruit all day long agents because they didn't have residual income. Okay, now the direct selling industry is hurting. You want to know why? Because nobody can compete with Amazon. Amazon is taking every single one of us out. Yep. Now, it costs a little more money to invest in a real estate business than it does in any of our direct selling multi-level marketing businesses. Really, they're just a couple $100, but you can pretty much start for nothing. But we're not competing with Amazon, at least not right now. And that's huge in the world of influencer marketing, direct sales, multi-level. And some of you might say, we're not multi-level. Listen, EXP's figured the closest thing out to multi-level that I've ever seen. And I'm a massive fan of multi-level marketing. So it has absolutely changed my life and thousands of other people's lives I've had the opportunity to do business with. So I'm super excited to be here. And I'm just going to be a sponge on the wall and take everything y'all got. But we are not competing with Amazon, and that's a game changer.
Well, awesome. And I appreciate your excitement and your passion for sharing. You know, with regards to shouting from the rooftops, man, like who really feels like they got their foot on the prospecting pedal right now?
Hey, John, I'll go.
Go for it, brother.
So, yeah, I'm like Darren, been in for 3 years, and now I'm just, actually the past 3-4 weeks, I'm just totally on fire with this now. Recommitting, getting in 2 right now this next week. We're doing role plays. I'm doing role plays every single day, 7:30 with different role play partners, and calling and making actually 7 to 10 contacts per day, conversations, and trying to schedule at least 1 Zoom every day with people. So I'm on fire, and it's working. And it's only working because I'm doing the role plays. And before, it's kind of like at the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I don't know that objection, so you don't handle it. But if you get to role playing and just dig it out, you know, you can do this. Anybody can do this. And I'm treating it like I used to do with my listings. Eat shit and breathe listings all day long. Eat shit and breathe this all day long.
Awesome. So, anybody else? One more? Any takers?
I'll jump in.
Awesome.
So Kurt Clements, who can't be on the call today, he had his first, so I ran my first 3-way call as the senior partner yesterday.
Nice.
Although it was nerve wracking, I geeked up on the Casey Council training the night before and watched some more Leo Robles stuff. And man, it worked. It was really helpful. It went very successful. And now they're booked with you for next week. And so she's
Closing
committed
them, man. I'm closing them next week.
Yeah. So it's a little small independent brokerage in Chicago, and that's gosh, it's kind of funny. It's more exciting on this side than it is even for your front line. So my first experience with that, but I'm like more jacked up about it than I have been for myself.
Awesome, man. Well, we're looking forward to that call next week and helping you guys. And it's just cool to see those things come to fruition. Last week, Kurt was on here with his, talking about his first three-way call setup, and he's just moving them through the process. Guys, there's a simple process to follow. I got somebody I see on here that's brand new. She literally just signed up this week, and I'm excited about her and what she brings to the table. But it was when I was talking to her on a three-way call, it was like, this is what we do, this is how we do it. Like, just do this. Don't worry about anything else. Like, just do this. It's a simple path to follow, and you're going to be successful. And so without further ado, let me dive into the material, because I got a lot that I want to cover, and I think there's a spin on it that's very timely for right now that I want to get into. So what is that proven system that we have? Our proven system is very simple. It's a 4-step process. We'll show you how to follow it. We'll teach you in the role, like what your role is within that system. And really, the whole idea of having a framework around anything is to give you like a clear path forward. So we don't want you to make all the mistakes that we made. We don't want you to make mistakes that we see people actively making in EXP right now. I was doing a call for somebody, and they were telling me, yeah, I got on the phone with this other EXP person, and they had like this 7-step process around investing for real estate and how they were using that to get into EXP. And I was like, dude, that's probably awesome, but like, that's only going to apply to a small segment of people. And it sounds complicated to me, and I'm in EXP. So, like, what are we doing here? Like, let's just have one simple framework that's going to work in every situation for every person. And that framework is peak, present, pass, and promote. Like, we're inviting people to learn about EXP. We're presenting the opportunity. We're passing them to a business partner. And then we're just going to promote the next exposure. We say it all the time. We're not going to sell you an EXP. We're going to show you EXP until you've seen enough to realize that the foregone conclusion is that you're going to get more here for less, and you're going to have more opportunity than anywhere else. It's like, we can recruit anybody to EXP if they'll slow down and take a look at it. And the good news, guys, is right now they're slowing down because they are slow. I was talking to one of the number one agents in the nation for a national brand, and he said, my business is down 50%. It's never happened before. So like, people are all ears right now. And if you'll just have conversations and you'll commit to a cadence, whether that's a 7-figure cadence that you're desiring or a 6-figure cadence, I don't really care. Just commit to something. Because what I'll tell you, even at the higher levels of this, when I get on mastermind calls with people that are either at the top of EXP or they're paying a lot of money to be in that mastermind setting, I'll tell you that 50% of the people aren't talking to anybody in a week. And it's like, whoa, that's the opportunity that we have. And more than half of us aren't talking to anybody new within a week. And if that's you right now, that's okay. It's not shame and blame game. It's just, hey, it's an awareness. Like, let's start somewhere. Let's start with one new reach out per week. Like, if everybody on this call committed that no matter what, no matter deaths in the family, sicknesses, vacations, no matter what, you were going to talk to one new person this week, and you haven't spoken to one new person in the last week or the week before or the month before, like, that's momentum, guys. And we can build on that, and we can get you to a cadence that's going to change your life, but it starts with one. So like, if you're listening to that and that speaks to you, like awesome. Talk to one new person this week, make a commitment, better yet, make it public, put your name in the chat and say, that's me, I'm going to do it. And let's do this together, guys, and let's hold each other accountable. If you see somebody in the chat and they say, I'm going to make one new reach out this week, guaranteed no matter what, awesome. If somebody knows that person, reach out to them, send them a text in a few days and see how they're doing. Let's be that kind of family, that kind of organization where a rising tide lifts all ships. Now, with announcements, we got some events coming up just around the corner in Orlando. We got the summit. We got some of our very own people going to be there, going to be speaking on stage. It's going to be an amazing event. Those of you that are Icon agents or Icon eligible, you're going to get $2,000 for showing up in stock. How amazing is that? Then we got Build coming up. If you're sitting here right now and you're like, I want more, I'm committed to this. You know, we got our boy Darren who just committed in the last month and he's putting people in. Like, your focus should be Build 23. Like, it's already too late. Like, you're either going or not going to shareholders in most cases, but Build 23 is coming up in July. The more people you bring to Build in July, the more people are going to join your organization in the next year. It's as simple as that, guys. So, like, who's going to Build and how many people are you bringing with you? That should be your single. Like, if there was one thing to focus on, it's that. So if you're brand new and this is your first call, you got to get yourself registered for Build. So, you know, talk to your upline, talk to your business partner, get registered and get committed to this event, and buy 2 tickets. Buy one for yourself and one for the very top prospect that you're going to invest in to get there. Because if you can invest in that person and get them to sit beside you, I guarantee they're going to join. Like, it's the odds are so high. And look, guys, I brought people that haven't joined, but it's not that they haven't joined. It's just they haven't joined yet. Like, I know these people are going to join. They're going to be in the business. You just have to get them there and the event will do its work. But the vast majority are going to come out of that event with excitement and the tools to harness that excitement to grow. It's going to be awesome. Then we got EXPCon following up in Vegas in October. So what I want to talk to you about today is the invitation, the peak. And I never really get tired of this topic because this is the topic that it all starts with. So we need to get you into action. And success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. So you guys are enthusiastic. You're on this call. I can hear the enthusiasm in you. But we've got to take that enthusiasm and apply it to action. Now, the definition for peak is to stimulate interest or curiosity. You have piqued my curiosity. And that's why we use this word peak. That's not like a super common word and not invite. Because invite is very vanilla, it's very bland, it's very whatever. But peak really is the essence of what you want to do when you invite somebody to learn about EXP. You want to stimulate their curiosity. So there's 4 fundamental rules of peaking. Number 1, you want to be the consultant, emotionally detached from the outcome. AJ, one of the most powerful things that AJ ever told me when I first joined EXP, he said, John, this will work. He said, marry the process, divorce the outcome. Don't worry if they're going to do it. Don't worry if that person says no. Just follow this process. It's a law of numbers. You will be successful. And that really helped me. That really gave me, like, you know, comfort in going into this. Like, hey, your opportunity here, and this goes for everybody listening, is not dependent on any one person. Yeah, there's somebody right now that you're thinking of that if you got them in would have a massive impact on your business. That's awesome. And let's hopefully get them. But if we don't get them, the only thing that's going to keep you from getting to where you want to go with this opportunity is your staying power. If you quit, it's not going to happen for you. But I promise you, it's not that one person that's going to make the difference long term if you'll remain committed. Number 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the strongest emotion that we as human beings can emote from ourselves to another. Energy is transferred. You need to be yourself. Don't act like me if me is not you. Just be yourself, but be passionate, be excited, be enthusiastic, and ultimately be urgent. And right now, be bold. Like, if somebody's like, I don't want to look at that right now, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, right now, people are hurting. And they don't even have to tell you they're hurting. You can just assume that they're hurting because their business isn't where it was last year. Regardless of who you are, if you're a realtor in real estate right now, there's a 99.9% chance that your business is more difficult right now than it was a year ago. Regardless of whether you're number 1 in your market, no, you know, whether how good you are, whether how confident you are about your business, it's still more challenging because we're dealing with inventory, you know, crisis. We still have low inventory. We have lower sales. We have higher interest rates. We have more people, you know, questioning where they're going to be and making moves. So just be bold and know that you have the secret weapon. You have the platform that's going to help them. I was on the phone with a guy this morning and I've been working on this guy. I mean, he was one of my original 10 on my original list of 10. I've been working on this guy. He's going through a very big challenge right now that's going legal right now. He's got an attorney. His agent's got an attorney. It's a mess. And I'm like, dude, you just need EXP. Like, all of this nonsense that you're going through right now is your whole world because all you have is this. But if you were in this vehicle, so I'm being strong, I'm being bold, I'm showing them this is what you need. because this is the platform that's going to protect you. We're the #1 fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. We're also winning everybody on transaction volume right now. We're winning everybody on profitability as a company. Our Q1 results just came out. You should be familiar with those. You should be able to talk to those. And understand that when you're talking to people, people fall into one of 4 different categories by and large. They're either what we call sharks, so they're motivated by money. They're whales, so they're focused on like helping others. They, that's where they get their fulfillment and enjoyment from. Or they're dolphins, like they could care less if they make money. If it's going to be fun and there's going to be a lot of people around, that's where they want to be. Or they're urchins, which are detail fact oriented. So these are people that like literally can't make a move forward until they know more about EXP than I do. And like, you just got to understand, who are you, number one? Like, which one of these people do you align with most? And then know how to adopt your language to talk to all these different types. So if I'm talking to a C or an urchin, I need to slow way down. I need to ask many more questions along the way. I need to make sure that they have all the data and information in black and white, and I need to make them feel not pressured. So like, these are all things that you learn by doing, you learn by failing, like the quote we shared with earlier. So when making the invitation, one size definitely does not fit all, but there should be one general approach that we take. And most people use the direct approach. That's kind of like our most general approach. And that could go something like this. You've got to take a look at this model. It's revolutionizing the way real estate is being done. And, maybe for you right now with the market, it's like, hey, I know you're probably feeling the effects of the market like everybody else. Could we take a moment to revisit EXP? I know you've probably heard about it before, but I'd love to show you specifically what EXP is doing to help agents in this market right now. Again, what is the definition of peak? To stimulate curiosity. What did I just do there? I just alluded to the fact that we had something that could help them right now, which I believe in my core we do. But you got to ask questions in a way that stimulate curiosity. So there's an indirect approach too, which is, hey, I'm just asking for your help. So, you may be brand new to EXP and you could say something like this. Hey, I've been looking at this new real estate business model. I'm really excited about it. I know you've got a lot more experience than I do. So I would love and be honored if I could pick your brain and really just get your take on this so that you can tell me if you think I'm making the right move or not. So that's the get your opinion approach. And it works really, really well, especially for brand new people. Now, super indirect approach. I don't really use this all that often because I'm a pretty direct person. But this approach goes like this. Who do you know in real estate that would be interested in earning additional income by simply doing what they're already doing? So, with our direct marketing girl that we just heard from, Cami, I think it was, she's probably used to an approach like this because she's used to approaching it from the residual income side. Like, hey, you're in real estate. Who do you know would like to earn additional income by simply doing what they're already doing? You're saying it's not for them, it's for somebody else, which leads to another conversation about, well, what is it? Well, I'm sure you would like to learn more about it before you refer some of your contacts. So here's how I would handle that. Like, hey, if I could show you in 20 minutes or less, would you have coffee with me? Would you get in front of me and let me show you this? That way you're going to learn about it. You can let others know about it. If I would you is one of the most secret, powerful weapon questions you can ask. Because when somebody is listening to you and you could, if I would you really get their attention and you really find out very quickly where they are in a non-threatening way. So if I could set up a call with my business partner, would you be interested in learning more about it from somebody who is an expert? Hey, I just joined. You're asking really great questions. I'd love to get you in front of my business partner. If I could set up a call later this week, would you have 20 minutes to jump on a call with him? Like really, really simple. I want this to be conversational. That's why I'm speaking so fast right now. One, because I have a limited amount of time and I have a lot that I want to share with you, but I also want you to see how it just becomes conversational. Like I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I would normally say, and it's logical. So right now, if I'm meeting somebody in the street and they're a realtor and I haven't seen them in, 6 months and we haven't chatted, but I might have reached out to him about EXP once before, I'd be like, hey man, I know I've talked to you about EXP before. But I just got to imagine that you're going through what everybody else is going through, which is a tightening of the guard. It's difficult right now. It's harder this year than it was last year. We're seeing that across the board. However, I also had the biggest biggest month I've ever had last month in EXP, and I'd love to show you why that's happening. So it's like curiosity. It's like they know I'm doing well. I talk to warm market. That's kind of my approach. And people know I'm doing well, but they don't know how or why I'm doing well. And right now they're curious as to how or why. Hey, if I could show you what's going on, would you take some time to relook at it? So reasons are powerful. If I would you is reciprocal. It says that I'll do something for you if you'll do something. It also transfers power. You're in control. You're not begging. You're not asking for a favor. You're simply offering to give them something of value in exchange for usually their time. And it says you have something that you'll only give them if they're willing to do something. So it's very like subconscious under the surface, but it's like, I got something, but I'm only going to give it to you if you're willing to do this. And if you're not, it's cool because I've married the process and divorced the outcome. If you're not interested, I'm not bent about it. I'm just going to put you over here and I'm going to follow up with you later. So peaking strategy for local agents, text them. Text is the number one form of communication from a response level right now. Hey, Lars, it's John. Do you have a quick second? And then when they reply to your text, pick up the phone and call them. Don't text them back. So you're initiating that. You're letting them know, hey, I want to talk to you, which is way more commonplace and normal today in this day and age than it is to just pick up the phone and call them for whatever reason. When people get like a random call, even if they know you, they're like, why are you calling me right now? It's like people are weird on the phone. But if you text them, hey, you got a quick minute? I need to chat with you. They might say, what's up? If they say, what's up, call them. If they say, sure, why? Call them. If they say, anything, like give you a thumbs up on your text, call them. Like, don't text them back. And then it's like real quick, hey, how you been? Are you still at such and such company? Have good energy. After the niceties should be 30 to 60 seconds max. If you're like me, it's probably 10 seconds max. Transition to the reason for your call. It's like, hey, let me tell you why I reached out to you. I'm curious. I'm sure people are reaching out to you about EXP, but right now with all that's going on in the market, have you actually had a chance to study this model and learn about what it can do for you in this market and moving forward? So I want to make everything right now because of the time we're in, because we're in a shift. I want to make everything personal to right now. When you make it personal to right now, the person who reached out to him 30, 60, 90 days ago is irrelevant. And like people say all kinds of crazy things. So just because somebody sat down with somebody at EXP doesn't mean that they got exposed to the opportunity. I found this out last week when I go and I meet with this independent company, and they said, yeah, we've been exposed to EXP. We've sat down and we spent hours talking to somebody. And I said, okay, well, why are you not in already? Well, that person told us that EXP wasn't for us. It wasn't a good fit for us. And I'm like, literally, somebody in EXP had 2 hours to sit down with you and they told you EXP wasn't a good fit for you. Wow. Like, I didn't even know what to say. I was speechless. I was like, I'm sorry that was the outcome. And what I later came to find out is that in 2 hours they spent together, they still hadn't seen the EXP presentation. Guys, that's doing it wrong. That's not following the system. It doesn't have to be that hard, I promise. So you want to get the appointment? Look, let me show you how this model really works. One of the things I'll say to them all the time is, let's do this. Let's meet up for coffee or let's schedule a Zoom. I'll show you exactly, like, I love that word exactly. I'll show you exactly what's so unique about our model. That way, we're once and for all, you'll understand it. And honestly, I don't know if this is for you. Remember that book, Exactly What to Say? I don't know if this is for you, but I know that if we spend 20 minutes together, you're going to clearly understand it and you're going to know if it's for you or not. So it's like, all right, you're giving them an outcome to the reason why you're getting together. It's important to foreshadow that outcome. When we get off the phone in 20 minutes, you're going to know either that this is not for you, which is fine. No hard feelings. Like, there's no pressure for me. I don't want to sell you into this. Trust me. The most I can make off you is $2,800 a year. And there's no reason why I would take time out of my day to make $2,800 a year just to get you. The only way that I want you to learn more about EXP and do this is if you think there's a future in EXP for you and that it can help you achieve your goals in less time for less money and with more upside potential. If it can do those three things and all three of those three things, then we should talk more. But after 20 minutes, you're going to know if that's for you or not. So how about one day later this week, preferably in the morning before it gets too busy? You're going to have less cancel rates if you book your appointments in the morning early than you are if you book your appointments after lunch. You're going to get tons of cancellations when you book after lunch. So handling objections. whatever they say, encourage them to at least look at it. Hey, like they're going to say, well, I just looked at it, or I just watched this video. Great. I got another video that you haven't seen. Great. Well, you haven't looked at it through me. And I just want to make sure you get a quality look. This thing is too big to miss, especially now with the market going on, especially with luxury that we're just rolling out. Most people in EXP don't even know about luxury, and you got to learn about it, especially with our health insurance options. We're not leading with health insurance enough. For some people, that's enough reason for them to make a move. It may not be a big enough cost savings, and they may think they're never going to recruit anybody. And for those reasons, they won't move. But if you can put them into a health insurance product that they don't have, or that they're going to save a lot of money, that in its own has helped move people over for me. So know what these different things are, know what these tools are. So a couple of helpful tips. If you meet at an office, meet at a neutral place, not your real estate office, bring coffee, a pastry, something simple, break bread with them. Put your phone on airplane mode, actually demonstrate that and tell them to do it too. And then just play the video. And if you're doing this over Zoom, just make sure that you demonstrate putting your phone on airplane mode and play the video. And when the video starts playing, don't say anything. So look, I got about 40 more slides on this topic, but I think we would get more value out of it. I got about, 5 minutes max left before I'm going to turn it over to AJ for our interview today. Is there any questions that you guys have relative to what I'm talking about?
Yeah, John, the video that you play, which video are you using?
So the video that I recommend in most cases for most situations, because I can't be in every one of your individual situations, is the modelexplained.com. And for those of you that think it's too long, I'll tell you exactly what AJ told me when I gave him that objection some 18 months ago. He said, if 30 minutes is too long for them to consume content that could change their lives, then they're probably not ready to change their lives. So play that video for them. If I'm sitting face to face with a broker owner, somebody who's looking at this from a pure business standpoint, then I'm going to take them to our Game Changers EXP Opportunity Explain with Lars Hedenborg, where he's going through it very businessly, analytically. Or I'm going to play the 9-minute video from CRM Grow, and I'm going to go into the business pieces together personally. And really that just depends on, what I've been exposed to so far and what I know about them. I've literally had people tell me, John, I'm calling you and I want to hear what you have to say about this. I don't want to watch a video. In that case, hey, it's unusual, but it's happened to me several times with business owners. Then I'm just going to play the 9-minute video because I'm going to tell them, look, this video is going to say more in 9 minutes than I can say in 18. Let's watch this together, and then I'll go into detail.
Hey, John, what about EXP commercial? What video?
EXP commercial doesn't have a video, at least not one that I've seen that's well done. They do have videos of them talking through it. But for EXP commercial, what I do is I'll have them watch the EXP 9-minute video so they have an overview of how the company works. I say it works very much the same way on commercial, but you also need to watch this to know that you can recruit residential agents as well. And then I get them on the phone with James Wong. I've tried to change that process multiple times, and every time it brings me right back to James. So just go to James's profile on Workplace. He's got his, you can message him there. He'll give you his Calendly link and you can set an appointment. He does everything one-on-one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
One more question. I'll drop Lars's video link in the chat below. So we got that. Anybody else have a last question before I turn it over to AJ? Awesome. AJ, you're up, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for delivering the fire today, man. That was awesome. I love what you said that I shared with you about the 38-minute video, and if they're not ready to watch it, they're probably not ready to change their lives. So I don't remember saying that, but I'll take the credit because I think that is a brilliant thing and a brilliant perspective. And congrats just in the chat here to Jeff Lewis, my man. He's sponsoring an agent of someone who just sent them info and then he watched it with them. I was just thinking the other day how I think I'm changing my three-way call policy to make it so that they cannot have a three-way call with me unless they actually watched it with their person prospecting them. Because every single time I do a three-way call, I always with trying to switch it up a little bit, I always say something to the effect of, what did you like best? And if they didn't watch it with them, without doubt, every time they say something so generic where they just kind of made it up on the spot and they watched like 5 minutes of the video. When they watched it with them, they gave me a very specific answer. So I know right away whether or not they watched it without having to ask them. And every time they give me a generic answer because they haven't watched the full video because someone sent them the information, it's just a really bad three-way call and they pretty much never join. When they actually watch it with them, it's a great call. And from what I've seen, about half the time they join, it's that solid. So it's like you do all the hard work. I mean, the hard work is working up the courage to really prospect someone, right? To pique their interest, to say, hey, have you heard about EXP? And to start that dialogue. The easy part is actually like exposing them, right? Doing the present part of the P process. And if you're just sending info, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. And I did that for a while. I think a lot of the top trackers did that for a while because, you did it the right way initially, had great success, and you maybe got a little lazy and started sending out the video and just didn't know that it wasn't going to be effective. And now that we're seeing it's not effective over the last year or so, maybe 2 years, we're like pulling that back and solely like, hey, watch it with them. So great lesson. If anyone can take anything from this call, that's the number one thing I want you guys to take away. Stop sending the info to people. You would not send your listing presentation to a prospect and never meet with them. So same thing. Cool. Without further ado, today we have Miss Jennifer Packard-Pratt on. I'm excited for this one. You ready to rock?
Yes, I'm ready. I had to get myself off mute. Sorry about that.
Awesome. So gosh, we probably met, I don't know, was it almost probably 3 years ago at an event?
It was in Charlotte, actually. Yep.
At one of the Charlotte
event. I joined in the fall of 2019. So it would have been probably that summer.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. I remember meeting you and I remember you're just full of energy, full of positivity and just ready to get to work. So I'm excited to hear a little more of your story. So let's just get back to where were you before EXP and then why'd you join EXP?
So I was with Carolina One, which is here in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I'm located. And it's the largest real estate company here in the area. It's mom and pop kind of philosophy behind it. It was Prudential before, and then they changed it to Carolina One. I was there for 5 years. I am known around here as the real estate fairy godmother. Got lots of, my car wrapped and, all that stuff, but that's for my, the real estate side of things. And I just started, it was probably about 9 years ago.
Cool. Awesome. So who's your sponsor? Is it, it's not Meg, is it?
It's Robin. So Robin cool. Is under Meg, right?
Exactly.
So so Meg is like one of my best friends here since I joined EXP, and Robin Phillips is my sponsor, direct sponsor.
Yeah. And we just had Robin and her husband on the call on this not too long
ago.
Oh,
they're great. Cool. They're great people.
Yeah. I knew you were part of the Charleston crew. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I love the branding too. I can see the picture behind you. You kind of got your
you can see all my office pictures there. I've got my wand and my tiara ready.
Awesome. I love that. Great personal
I just taught a branding class for fellow real estate agents, in EXP as well as outside EXP yesterday. We had about 25 people, so that was good.
Nice, cool. I want to talk about that in a second. So Robin exposed you to EXP when you saw the presentation. Like, what was the thing that really drew you to it? Was it revenue share or was it something else?
So when I joined, and I've said this to all of the people that I talked to, I'm like, I just couldn't unsee it. And I had, interestingly enough, this is how I know about EXP. I have a friend who lives in Austin, Texas, that I know from living in the Virgin Islands for 17 years in St. Thomas. And her name is Vanessa Nunez. And she reached out to me years ago, I want to say 2016. And I was like fairly new in real estate. I was like, whoa. This is like, she's like, it's the Amazon of real estate. You need to. So I think back then the website for EXP itself wasn't built out yet. So I never got a response back when I inquired about it. So in 2017, I looked back at it and I actually bought stock in the company. I had my financial advisor look at it. He bought stock in the company. Wow. And then he kept saying to me, why are you not joining this company? And I'm like, I'm scared. And so I really sat down when I looked at how much my Carolina One was taken out of my pocket. I was like, holy crap, this is like $63,000, $57,000. Over 4 years, it was over $200,000. And I was like, I'm a single mom. I got to put my kid through college, and that's college numbers. So I, started researching, and I went right back to EXP, kind of probably very much knowing that I was going to be an EXP agent. But I had to, of course, interview 9 other companies in the area. And I was like, so what do you do for stock options? What do you do for revenue share? Do you have health insurance? And they're like, no, of course. And yeah, that's how I got here. And I'm so glad I did. I mean, it changed my life. And I talk about my story all the time about how life-changing it was. And just to piggyback on that, in my first 2.5 years with EXP, I was able to buy not 1, not 2, 3 brand new construction rental properties.
Wow.
Just from keeping my own money.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a huge testimony to the power of this company. It's crazy. The revenue share is great, and that's why we're all on this call to learn how to build our organizations. But
absolutely,
between the money you're saving, the agent equity program, buying the stock, even before you're an XP agent, because in 2017, because that's when I joined, the stock must have been under $3 a share.
Oh, it was. It was really inexpensive.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And for those of you that don't know, the stock has split since then. So it's really like, if it's say $13 a share today, it's really 26 because it split a few years ago. So we're still up like 10x from early 2017.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. So let's talk about it a little bit. So you have how many people in your organization today?
So almost 30, actually. I think 27 or 28 right now. I have 15 frontline, and 10 of them are FLQAs, which is, of course, the number we want to keep. I like to have 15, but I do get paid on all 3 levels that I have open so far.
Perfect. So not missing any money. I know.
No, I was dying at Cabo when I heard that guy who had over 1,000 people in his organization and didn't have the number of frontline people that I do. Even I think it was maybe he had 10 or 15, but he wasn't getting paid on so many levels. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would be literally locking myself in my house and calling to get my frontline built out.
Yeah, I feel the pain a little bit because I'm at 30 right now, but it's all right. What's interesting, I was in Breckenridge with John a couple weeks ago, and we're on the ski lift talking about if you truly just didn't want to work ever again and just let like your FLQAs essentially go to zero, like once you're at a couple thousand people in your organization. You still get paid on all levels. You just don't get paid the exponential share. And John did the math. I think it was 20, 30,000 potentially without having even one FLQA, which is really cool. That's really
wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So cool. So you got about 30 or so people. I know there's lots of people on this call dying to have 30 people in their organization. Huge accomplishment. Congrats on that. What's been like the biggest rev share month? Has it gotten to the point where it's multiple thousands of dollars a month? Like as a 4,000. 4,000? Nice.
4,000, yeah.
That's great.
That's been I've done that a few times. Of course, I had these big hefty goals and stuff, and I just haven't done as much attraction as I'd like to, but I've changed things over this last year. And I've been for about a year now working on accountability calls with Meg Watson. We do them every Wednesday, and we do 2 hours. And then sometimes we even add in an extra day if we've got an event planned. We do a lot of events here in Charleston, training classes, happy hours, that kind of thing.
That's amazing. So in your short 3 years with EXP, you've been able to buy 3 new construction rental properties, plus build a revenue share organization of 30 people. That's kind of like, I look at it like that's an additional rental property paid off.
Right.
That's appreciating because that's going to keep growing and that income is going to keep growing. And it's even better than a rental property because, you have new construction rental proproperties. So yours are in good shape, but properties, you got the toilets breaking, you need a new roof, all that.
That's definitely why I do it that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good for you. I'm glad that you shared that with everybody because that's a huge testament to the power of this model that you've taken advantage of. And a lot of people, might be like, man, I'm not getting to 1,000 agents as fast as I hoped, or 500 agents. And, there's other ways to build financial freedom through the power of this model. And you're a great example of that. So talk a little bit about your branding event that you do. Was that like, hey, we're just going to do it and whoever wants to come, or was that like specifically we're going to try to attract agents through it?
It's definitely an agent attraction. We have sponsors for the classes as well as our events, and it's definitely to attract agents to what EXP has to offer. We don't do anything EXP explained or anything at the event. It's basically to just show value and make relationships with people. And since it's a smaller class, it's a good masterminding and then just getting to know other agents. And then Meg and I took a couple of the agents that were there that are not with EXP to lunch yesterday. So that was a great like follow up to the morning class at like 11:30. We all went to lunch. So,
Cool.
And I'm sure they're both going to come because we are so much fun.
Yeah, that's a
and
big part of it.
enthusiastic, right? You've got to be enthusiastic about this.
Yeah, it was like the personality profile, as John was just sharing. The dolphin, I think it was the social one. Like they'll come if it's just fun. Like it doesn't
Yes.
matter. And
Yes.
agents, man, so many agents are dolphins. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
If the Keller Williams agencies are having more fun at EXP, they're like, I'm gonna make a switch just because it looks more fun.
Yes.
That's like
and truly, I think that when you're a positive, upbeat, fun person, you kind of obviously attract those people.
Yeah.
That want to know more about the culture, say, than the money or whatever. But that was what was important to me as a single mom was the financial piece and leaving a legacy to my kids. I have a lot of friends that are not in a position to leave for their children, and I think that is a huge pain point for people.
Yeah, so true. And watching you guys in Charleston, you guys are such a fun bunch, like with Meg and David and Robin and you guys.
We love it. Yeah, we really do.
Side note, Meg, if Meg, you're ever watching this, I don't think you're on right now, but shout out to Meg. She actually went with me on my first listing presentation ever in Lake Norman, which was really cool.
Wow,
we didn't get it, unfortunately, but I remember driving with her, and she kind of helped mentored me in my early career along with Craig and Shelley, which was really neat. So
that's so cool.
To all of them. Yeah, so cool. So you're doing these events.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're filling the room pretty well. Are you doing it like every month, every quarter? Is it more just kind of like whenever you feel like it? Like, what's your thought process around how you're doing it and how like promoting it? Like, how are you getting people to those events? Because I think this is a great strategy, and I think the agents who are doing this are really going to excel in agent attraction over the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. So for me, I was immediately asked to be, right after I joined EXP, asked to be on the leadership team here in Charleston, which is basically kind of taken our local market from 100 EXP agents. We're over 600 now. So I really, kind of, that's definitely from the events that we've done and the presence that we have made because of those events. So we were doing an event a month last year, and that was a lot. I have to say that was a lot. Yeah. So this year we're doing them every other month. So that's plenty. Our sponsors are still happy. We have 3 sponsors. We have a lender, we have an insurance person, and we have a law office. So those 3 are very good for if you're looking to have sponsors. Those are kind of key people. We did them at a local distillery, had a happy hour afterwards. Our events are usually 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 5:30. Now we're doing our own bar setup because they decided to double our fees at the distillery. So now we're in a brand new room, gorgeous exposed brick downtown Charleston feel at the visitor center. So that is an awesome spot, really local, really central. And then, we're even doing one big event a year where we pay someone to come in and talk. And this year it's a person on AI. Her name is Marky Lemons. If you guys ever want to look her up on social media, Marky Lemons is fantastic. She's kind of the forefront for AI for real estate. She's a real estate agent herself. Anyway, so that's our big one in July. So that we do a lot of lead up to. And we try all of the leadership team as well as the people on our personal teams. We're encouraging to, make 25 to 50 phone calls to get people to the event. And we blast it out on the local realtor pages, for realtors only here in Charleston. And, just say, hey, DM me for the link to the Eventbrite. Because we don't want, for example, new construction agents or other lenders coming to step on toes, that kind of thing. So we keep control over who comes, but we definitely strategically make calls to invite.
Okay, awesome. That's great. I love that model. It's a lot like what Keller Williams does. They bring in outside speakers regionally to the market centers or just to a local hotel, and all the market centers get their agents there to provide
Yeah.
more value, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I used to love going to classes like that when I was at KW. How much are you paying Marky Lemons? Like if someone wants to get a speaker like her in, what is the speaking fee?
I think with everything, her hotel, her speaking engagement and all, I don't know if we're paying airfare or not, but it's about $6,000.
Okay, cool.
So because we're not doing 12 events and we're doing 6 events, we have a little bit of extra to put towards that. And, you know, for us, it's just a way to, as you know, we do panels now. So we started off doing speakers. Now we're doing more panels and masterminds because it seems to get a better result and a better, when people are strategically talking to each other and they're learning from agents from all other companies, we'll have just like one person from EXP on a board of 5 or 6 on a panel. So this one that's coming up next week on Wednesday is 40 under 40. So we reached out to all the 40 under 40 people. We got 6 panelists and we're off and running. So the panels are great because you're telling people, we admire you. We want to hear what you have to say. You're from other companies. We're just putting everybody together to kind of help each other and calling them to be on the panel, number one, and then also calling other people to say, hey, we think that you would really get a lot out of this.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you charge for those events where you have the panels?
Nope.
Yeah, that's
nope.
Cool.
We are talking about charging for the Marky Lemons one since we're hiring her only because we want people to show up. Yeah. Not necessarily that we need to make the money, but that, you know, that we charge $10, they might actually come, or $20. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, I think that's great. And it provides like the perception of value is higher, you know,
exactly.
Hey, you know, $97, but you know, before the 31st, you know, $25 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or she charges thousands of dollars to speak, but you can come for only $25 or something.
Exactly. And then people are more likely to show up because they've spent money.
Yeah, I love it. That's cool.
Yeah.
And these types of events too, like are so great for retention as well, for existing agents to go to and plug into, and it's all good.
New agents.
And new agents.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your new construction rentals. Is the money that you saved like through your cap, or was it some stock that you sold from attracting agents or iconing? Like how did you get the capital to buy those? If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was in my first, so I've been 3.5 years with EXP. That was in my first 2.5 years. I was able to do that because of the money that I wasn't giving to Carolina One. Okay, strictly. Sure. I mean, I hadn't.
Wow.
I think my first year I didn't get to Icon because I kind of started late in the year, but I have Icon since then. And, you know, that's awesome because they give me my cap back, you know, in stock. But the real thing that, especially for people that are giving a lot of split to their companies, I tell them that I'm like, hey, I was able to make so much more money in my body. It's not what you make, it's how much you keep. I mean, bottom line, any business, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So I tell them, hey, I was able to keep this much more money. And I was making more money because I had lead generation, which I didn't have at my old company. So I was not only, my bottom line was getting higher than what I was keeping was higher too. So yeah,
that's great. That's a really good story to be able to share, because now you've taken the money that you're just saving by not being at a company that has a high split, no cap or whatever,
right,
invested it in an asset that's going to pay you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Which is amazing.
And I post about that success without mentioning EXP. I'm like, hey, you know, I love, you know, and I'll hashtag it, but I will talk about that. Like, hey, I was able to keep so much more of my money. I bought, this is what I did in 2.5 years. And I post that sometimes on social media, and I don't necessarily say why, but people will like, tell me about that. You know, both clients and realtors will ask me about it. So, you know, I have an answer for both of them. Buy an investment property or come to EXP.
Yeah, it's a very organic way to open the conversation when you're creating curiosity through story like that.
Right.
I really like your approach, and I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people on the call, because it's not the, you know, cold calling strangers, just pitching them.
Right.
It's like, hey, let's add value first, and then share EXP once we form a relationship. Which, you know, some people are called types, some people aren't. So this is a great call. A lot of value added.
So it's a for me, it's been such an organic process, and I haven't done as much that I of course I would like to be at 1,000 agents right now after 3.5 years, but it's so organic. Like when I make phone calls, I make them to people that are acquaintances of mine, and I will say, hey, let's have coffee, let's have lunch, let's mastermind about this market together, and just build that relationship. And then by the second time I can start to talk. But you know what? They always ask me about it. They always ask me.
Yeah.
So, and a funny story is I took a guy who was at my old company. He's been there for 20 years. I took him to lunch, and I really wanted to find out about his motorhome trip out west, because I'm doing that next summer with my daughter for 6 weeks. And I've had a motorhome for a long time. And I asked him about it. He took his family, and 10 minutes before I was supposed to meet him for lunch, he goes, all right, I've been worrying about this all night. I don't want you to talk to me about EXP because I don't want to come. I'm happy where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I wasn't planning on it. I was planning on asking you about your trip. And that's it. I'm not going to talk about it. You know where I work. You know that I love it. I mean, I figure you'll call me, right, when you're ready. Bull, if 5 minutes in, he didn't ask me for 30 minutes questions about EXP. Just because I told him I was not going to talk about it, but he was like, so tell me about this. Tell me about it. It was funny.
That is funny. It's like a lot of agents are kind of, brainwashed by their brokers, like to hear no evil, like those three monkeys, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. That's what it reminds me. Agents are like, don't show me, because they once they see it, like you said, they can't unsee it. Once they hear it,
and you can't unsee it.
So he's like trying to resist, and he gets there and he's like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it was really funny because I gave him the answer that he wanted to hear. Like, I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, it didn't stop him from keep controlling the conversation.
Yeah, I'm all about the motorhome lifestyle too, and it's so cool that you're able to do that. Like there's not a lot of real estate agents that are able to take that much time off, travel the country.
Yeah.
And that's cool. When are you doing that next summer, you said, or this summer?
Yeah, so we were going to do it this summer, but my daughter's dad lives in Australia and she's going there for a few weeks. Okay. So we decided to switch it to after she graduates high school. So I figured that's my last chance to get her in that motorhome by herself for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool. A couple questions here, and if you guys have any more questions, if you want to put them in the chat, that'd be awesome. Cammie, if you want to, I don't remember which list you were referring to, so if you want to clarify on that, that'd be awesome. Jim McCord says he has 35 people with under him at KW and is making $900 a month on average, which is actually really good. Jim joined us last month at EXP. Jim's awesome. That's actually a lot. I have about the same amount in my organization at KW, and I'm earning about a third of that per year. The profit in the market centers where I'm getting profit from are just really down. And that's what's cool about the difference between revenue share and profit share. I was actually out to dinner with a KW agent last night here at my home in Dorado Beach. He had just bought an Airbnb here, so we linked up. First time meeting him. He's a GoBundance guy. I'm in GoBundance. But anyways, he actually had the same, or Gene Frederick was his team leader when Gene Frederick was the team leader at KW in Austin, which was kind of cool. But so we're kind of talking about a little bit about the difference between profit share and revenue share. And it's like, if you have agents in the market centers where there's profit share happening and there's no profit share, whereas revenues off the top, which is the key distinction between revenue share and profit share. For those of you wondering.
And on top of that, I tell people, I'm like, we're revenue share, which let me give you the breakdown. If you're profit share, that means your company didn't have the gala that $1,000 ahead at the end of the year. They didn't have the awards banquet. They don't have to redecorate the office. They don't have to up the rent on the office. So all of that is what you're talking profit share. After all that's taken away, then that's your profit. Revenue share is just a flat amount that is guaranteed when you do these things.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to the Brent Gove presentation from Cabo yesterday when I was working out, and it was the one from Cabo, and he was just talking about how his parents, they're late 80s, I want to say, and they've been at I think Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, one of those, but their whole career they were there, and then they retired with not a lot of income coming in, and how his parents just wish they would have had something like EXP when they were younger, because it's like, imagine every real estate agent on this call, like you're likely going to have a 10, 20, 30-year career as a real estate agent. So just to be adding a couple agents a year to your front line, what that will eventually amount to when you go to end your career, retire, you got a few rental properties, you got a couple hundred agents in your organization, like you're making some money in retirement versus just, trying to get through it. So
yeah. And then willing it to your kids too. I mean, that makes a huge difference.
Exactly. Yep. Leave something behind. And what's crazy, and we talk about this a lot, like you're getting pretty close. I think you'll be to say 40 grand a year before you know it in rev share.
Okay. Yep.
Which is like the average real estate agent only makes 38,000. So you'll be doing residual what they're doing. But that means, can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. My phone just connected. So it dinged at me. But you would need $1 million invested at 4% is the safe withdrawal rate. You guys can Google the Trinity study or 4% safe withdrawal rate. Essentially, if you want 40 grand a year in retirement, you need $1 million saved, and then you can safely live off 4%, $40,000 a year. So that's $1 million saved in the bank if you're making 40 grand a year in revenue share. And it's not that hard to get there. And and then also too, I mean, I always think about the fact that, as you said, and, we were talking, it's willable to your child, your children, your grandchildren, your, whatever, you can use it for college educations and all that stuff. And I was laughing because I was at Cabo and I got a henna tattoo on the top of my bathing suit on my breast, and it's at EXP. And so people were asking me left and right, is that real? Is that real? Is that real? I said, no, but mark my word. And you guys are all my witnesses on this call. Mark my word. When I have 5,000 people in my revenue share, that will be a real tattoo. You're getting it. Nice. I'm going to hold you accountable to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I didn't say if, I said when.
Yeah, totally. That'll be awesome. Well, cool. Any parting words of encouragement or advice to agents looking to get started with revenue share or kind of just get restarted?
Yeah, I think really just find yourself an accountability partner first. Hugely important, because there's a lot of weeks I do not want to be social on the phone, and I don't love making those calls. But if I know someone else is waiting on the other side of that Zoom, and how that works is I make a call, she's muted. I mute, she makes a call. We chat about what we could have done differently. I even forget to mention things, and she'll put in the chat box, oh, don't forget to mention this. It sounds like, blah, blah, blah. So that's really helpful. I make it a goal to have 3 coffee dates or lunch dates with agents every week. Like every single week, that is my goal, is to have 3. I know we're all busy with real estate and everything else in our lives, but 3 coffees, I mean, it doesn't have to be long, an hour. So 3 hours a week. Make calls for 2 to 3 hours a week. And I really think that just getting your mindset in that, have a dry erase board with your prospects on it. Just like you have a hot and warm list and you have closed deals or whatever you have under contract and listings and stuff, just do that for your attraction the same way you do for your other business. And then lastly, I was listening to Matthew McConaughey last week on his 2.4 million viewer thing that he had with, Murray Forleo, the B School, and some other people. But somebody on that show said, or I think it was him actually, said, when you really drill it down, selling equals love. You are giving something of value to somebody. And I just resonated with me. I'm like, I want everyone from the bottom of my heart that I know, that I don't know, that's in this business, to have this opportunity that I have. And when you think about it coming from a place of giving and a place of service, you can't fail. And that's when he said that, what selling equals love, I was like, oh my gosh, that is attraction. That's attraction, 100%.
So good. That's such a great way to describe it. That's awesome. I'm gonna try to find the replay now, because I saw that he was coming off a course or something.
Amazing.
But I didn't see that they had that.
Yeah, they do have the replay. I'll email it over to you. I have it.
All right, cool. Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, his book. Have you read his book Green Lights or listened to the audio? Yeah, I
listened to it. He's the best speaker, and he was just like that on his thing last week.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for a good Audible, I would recommend. I don't like Audible. I get an Audible every month for free because I have the Amex Platinum and it gets reimbursed. So anyways, I download Audibles and I listen to none of them because I just can't engage. I was just trying to do it this morning on the way to Costco. I was like, I don't even know what I'm listening to right now. I just got turned off. But the Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey audio is awesome. It's him reading
Very
it. And I think he adds a lot to it that probably isn't in the book as he's just talking. And,
It's really funny.
yeah, it's great. I haven't met anyone who wasn't excited to share Green Lights after listening to it. So,
and You Are a Badass and You Are a Badass at Making Money, two of my all-time life-changing books that I've listened to by Jen Sincero. And if you get a chance to listen to them, because she is like a stand-up comedian and it's entertaining, but it's also no nonsense. Like, why aren't you doing this? Are you afraid of being embarrassed? Well, does that make you not want to, you know what I mean? It's just really no nonsense.
okay. Does that book have a yellow cover?
Yeah. You Are a Badass and You Are a Badass at Making Money. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that title. I haven't read it. So I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. Those were a couple that I recommend that will really kind of kick you in the butt and change your life.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Well, it's been awesome.
Sure.
Looking forward to have you on again in the near future, and we'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah.